Before the video starts, please subscribe for a free cookie. Last time you'll flame the shit out of me for putting Visionary to high up and heat, and Wind to low. So this time, I'm going to redeem myself. Starting off with Berserk, the rework did a lot for it, and made it even better than before, but it's still easy to counter and avoid. However, for a common, it's still amazing with high damage and hyper armor moves. A tier. Water is another good common, and although it's not amazing for combos and only has one combo starter, that doesn't mean it can't be used well. The Geyser move, which feels like has infinite range and is a pain to fight against, is very good for run and spam builds, also A tier. Lightning is amazing, no doubt about it. There's a reason it's one of the most popular Shikai in PvP. The long-range moves that stun opponents are insane, one of which being a block breaker. Its third move teleports you to them from a short distance, but this usually catches people off guard and lets you get a free combo. S tier, no doubt. Shadow also got a rework on one of its moves, which has made it even more annoying to fight against. Who thought a stun that pulls in from so far was a good idea? If its other moves didn't kinda suck compared to it, I would rank it higher, but just because the other moves aren't as good as the Z move, I can't put it higher than Berserk, which is good all around. After people discovered that creation is insane for PvP builds, everyone started using it, and it got too much attention, resulting in a nerf shortly after gaining popularity. Since then, I just haven't seen much of it in ranked, and every time I have, the fight felt one-sided. It's certainly not as good as it once was. C tier. I'm definitely gonna get someone saying my rating for Confusion is bad, but I don't really care. It's not as good as people say it is. Its counter is really all it has. Inverted Vision isn't a problem to play against in my opinion, since it's not only blockable, but also parryable. Getting hit with it all the time is genuinely a skill issue. Sure, I'll get hit with it sometimes, but that doesn't make a Shikai overpowered. Stop hyping up mid. C tier. Wind is honestly very good, but not good enough. It used to be OP with Kido and Hakuda, but now I feel like it's pretty predictable and hard to get hit by. Usually people who play this are bad at close-up fights, so when you get closer they panic and start missing all their moves. Although if the right person uses it, then it can be good, most people aren't the right person. C tier. As much as I want to say Poison is underrated, which it kinda is, I also can't really say it because it just isn't that good. The damage is okay, and the poison is fine, but the combos are non-existent. Every time I play against it, I feel like I'm playing a bot. D tier. For some reason people actually use Zangetsu. You're not Ichigo lil bro, just reroll it. These same people try to run and spam, but once you catch them they can't do anything to fight back. D tier. Fire is honestly very good with most builds, but specifically Hakuda. Half the time, when I play against Fire Hakuda, I have no idea what is happening to me when I get lifted into the air. The moves have no wind-up whatsoever, and do massive damage with crazy burn. A tier. Personally, my favorite legendary Shikai. Suzu is fun to play, and combos with it are easy as long as you can land your moves. It's pretty good since 2 of its attacks ragdoll, and 1 poisons as well. A tier. If you play Ink, I can guarantee you're not straight. All you do is disable my body like I'm Helen Keller, and start to molest me. Half of you can't combo, so whenever your stuns kick in and your opponent can't use moves or flash step, you empty your hotbar on them. You're all filthy, but Ink is very good, so S tier. Blood users play cocky as fuck, because as long as they hit you, they regen all their health back. Honestly, Blood is very good and fun to use until someone is using it against you. The reason I'm not putting it higher is because how little it puts pressure on the opponent. A tier. Flower is amazing in Benkai, but in Shikai form it's not that good. The damage feels mediocre, and the moves feel too fancy and not strong. The moves are easy to miss, and getting hit by them is rare. However, pair this up with Hakuda, and it's very strong. It can be used better with better players, but I won't put it too far down since I feel it's still better than fire and water, but I can always see it switching places with fire. A tier. Ice is very powerful, but it's pretty much just the counter move doing everything. The Z move is not used as much either because it's outshined by the shurikens. Put this in the right hands and they can do crazy combos with its stun and counter, but other than that it's okay for the average player. A tier. theater might be the worst legendary in the game. It's so ass now after all the nerfs and predictable as fuck now. D tier. This Shikai is so forgettable I actually forgot. It's supposed to be on this list. Honest to God, no one uses this shit. Benihime fell off so hard since it dropped. It got nerfed into the ground, but after the small shitty buffs they gave it made its slider better. It's still an okay Shikai, but the other mythics make it look like dog shit. Do I even need to fucking explain? This Shikai is so annoying to fight. Every time I play against one of them, their clone ends up being better than the actual player. It takes zero skill, and is overpowered as fuck. S tier. Duality low-key fell off after release. I don't know if it got nerfed or not, but I feels weaker now and more predictable and easy to counter. It's still very good and deserves a high tier. I'll put it in S tier for all the people who rolled for it when it was still good and can't afford to roll off it now. Let me know what you would change about the tier list by flaming me in the comments, because I know damn well this list isn't perfect.